Okay, good morning. Today is Monday. It is August 10th already. I can't believe it. Okay, so we are starting with math, remembering that we have two different math workbooks. We have our regular one that we would normally use during class time, and then we have our homework and remembering. We're starting with our bigger book, okay? So we're going to turn to page 22 through 25. Those are the pages that we're doing today. I do want to emphasize, oh, there's my social studies blue. I wondered where that went. I want to emphasize to you guys that this is what today's lesson is going to be on in our Zoom. So if this seems confusing, I would like for you to just put this to the side and not work on it until we get to our Zoom, okay? But I am going to go through what you have to do on each page so that you can come back to this after our Zoom. So on page 22, we are looking at the commutative property of multiplication. Commutative property of multiplication, kind of a hard word to say. So multiplication is commutative. The commutative property of multiplication, like what does that mean? States that you can switch the order of the factors, I'm going to get my highlighter, without changing the product. So think about that. We know that in this multiplication problem, 4 and 5 are factors. So if I switch the order of the factors, the answer or the product stays the same. Can you think of another operation that does that? Addition, right? With addition, if we have our two add-ins and we switch them around, they can still result in the same sum, or they will still give us the same sum, right? Okay, so here we've drawn an array for 4 times 5 equals 20. That's your equation. So your rows had 4, your rows, I should go like that, have 4, your columns have 5, right? But 4 times 5 will give us the same answer or product as 5 times 4. Look at that. That's what commutative means. So there's actually commutative property of addition too, because you can do the same thing with addition. Now, can you do this with subtraction? No, it will not give you the same answer, right? Okay, so this is just demonstrating the same thing that we talked about here with groups. All right, so let's look at what your directions are. It says solve problems using the commutative property. Make a math drawing for each problem. That's important right there. Write a multiplication equation and the answer to the problem. So you have to make a drawing. You have to do 3 things here. Make a drawing, write an equation, and then answer the problem. Okay? And they really don't give you a whole lot of room to make the drawing, to be quite honest. All right, but it says Katie bought some stickers. She put the stickers on her folder in 6 rows of 2. How many stickers did she buy? 6 rows of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rows of 2 is going to give me 6 times 2. Now this is interesting because I don't feel like they are actually having you guys practice the commutative property. But all right, Katie bought some stickers. She put the stickers on her folder in 6 rows of 2. How many stickers did she buy? Okay, so basically we're going to skip count by 2. Or if you know that 6 times 2 is the same as 6 plus 6, and you know your doubles, you may already know this one. But 6 times 2, so I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 6 times 2 equals 12. Now, did I do everything they asked me to? Did I make a drawing? Yes. Did I write a math equation? Yes. And did I answer the problem? Yes, I did. Okay? All right, so you're going to do the same thing for 19, 20, and 21. Now let's look at, because we're going to page 25 today. This page is really where we're going to be focusing our lesson today, so I don't want you to worry too much about this until we do our Zoom, but I will still read out your vocabulary words to you, and I would like for you to repeat them as I read them. Vocabulary: division, divisor, dividend, quotient. Look at the word dividend. I see the word divide and end. Okay, these are bigger words. Read them again. Division, divisor, dividend, quotient. Okay. Explore division. Write an equation and solve the problem. So again, we're going to be talking about this in class today. Mark bought some bags of limes. There were 5 limes in each bag. He bought 15 limes all together. How many bags did he buy? All right. So this is kind of, I feel like it's a little unfair to actually be demonstrating this on our instructional video before we introduce it, but I will help you. Okay, so he bought 15 limes. You're going to start with what he bought all together. And there were 5 limes, so you're going to actually divide those limes by 15. And you will see when we get to our lesson that division is simply the inverse or the opposite of multiplication. In the same way, addition and subtraction are directly related, but they're opposites. Okay? So we're going to find out that it's the same with division, and that the factors that you would normally use with multiplication will be similar in your division problems. So knowing that, some of you may be able to figure this out. All right. So again, we're going to be working on this in class together. So I'm going to just kind of pause here with this. If you can figure it out alone, then that's great. If not, I would love for you to just wait until we get into class and we'll work these pages out with one another. Okay, so I'm actually just going to put that one to the side. All right, so homework and remembering, we are working on page 13 only because you're actually almost done lesson 1 and we're going on to the 2s later this week, which I'm excited about. Okay, what's your study plan? I will watch my teacher's instructional videos. Okay? All right, so your directions on page 13 say write a multiplication equation and a division equation for each problem and then solve the problem. Again, stuff that we're going to be going over during our class Zoom. Okay, it says number 1, Mandy's diner has a total of 20 chairs. The chairs are divided equally among 5 tables, and how many chairs are each table? So I'm just going to show you that this would actually be what the equation is here, okay? Because I know that 4 times 5 gives me 20, which would be the way I would also write this as an equation. Oops, that should be an equal sign. Or if I'm using the commutative property, I also know that 5 times 4 gives me 20. So that could be any of those, okay? All right, and when you have 20 chairs and the chairs are divided equally among 5 tables, right? So each one of the columns would represent a table. Just like that. All right? Okay, so that's what you're going to work on for page 13. Okay, the next thing that we are doing is reading. Now, I'm going to show you my textbook, but remember, my textbook is the teacher's manual. Your textbook has the picture of the raccoon on the front, so that's what you should be grabbing. My pages are all weird too, so, just kind of ignore this. But you're going to be reading pages 36 and 37 here, which is going to go over, oh, that's perfect. Good. It's going to go over your vocabulary for this week with reading. I'm going to say the words for vocabulary for this week for reading, and I'd like for you to repeat them after me. Adventure. Exploring, auditions, sparkling, fantastic, success. Okay, and I'm really excited because our skill that we're working on is going to be cause and effect, which is actually going to help us within social studies as well. So you're going to read each of these 2 pages, and then you are going to come to your reading workbook, reading practice workbook, and you're going to work on pages 21 and 22. We are going to come back to this book for grammar as well. You're going to work on some phonics first, and our new book is called Amazing Grace, which I'm really excited about, our new story rather. And let's read the top together. It says, a final silent E often makes a vowel in that syllable have the long vowel sound. For example, we learned this last year, you guys, and I'm going to highlight my final silent E. Yeah, we learned that last year. Good. Okay, so our final silent E causes the U to be long, so confuse. Final silent E causes the I to be long, so refine. Dislike. I'm highlighting the ones that are actually short sounds right now too. So pan and then cake, pancake, good. Your A is going to be short, so alone. And this one's a little bit harder. It's actually a lot harder. Qua, but then you hear the O, so quote. Good. So your directions say circle the word that has a long vowel sound and a final silent E. Then write it in the line and complete the sentence. Number 1 says, and I'm only doing number 1 for you. We read a book about a storm called. Okay, so we know we have to have a storm. All of these are storms, so you can't eliminate in that way, but we have to be able to read. So we read a book about a storm called a rainstorm, blizzard. There's no long E here, so I'm automatically going to get, or no silent E rather, causing a long vowel sound. Rain, storm. Now I do have a long vowel in rain, but is it caused, because it says circle the word that has a long vowel sound and a final silent E. Rainstorm doesn't have that silent E, but hurricane does. So you're going to rewrite it. And I would like for you to highlight the silent E and the vowel that makes it long. So hurricane, that A becomes long right there, okay? All right. And then you're also working on filling in your correct vocabulary words that go inside of your paragraph. So it says read the story, choose words from the box to complete the sentences, then write the answers on the line. So I'm going to read the words to you. I'm also going to read the paragraph. If you don't need my help with reading the paragraph, then please skip this part of the video, okay? So it says, auditions, adventure, exploring, sparkling, fantastic, success. My friends and I love blank stories. You can always read this with me too, you guys, so let's start again. My friends and I love blank stories. We wish we could go blank with the story characters. We can't do that, but we do learn all sorts of things from these exciting tales. Sometimes we put on a play about a story we're reading. We hold blank to see who will play each part. From the book, we learn where and when the story takes place. Then we take old clothes and add decorations like blank jewels to make costumes. We make the costumes look like clothes the story characters wore. People who see our plays often say the costumes are blank. The right costumes help make a play blank. Okay, and I know a few of you who have some experience with theater, so a lot of these words are actually going to be pretty familiar, and I'm kind of excited to read this week's story because I think it's going to be about a play. That would be my prediction. Okay, you are going on to writing. I didn't get my writing notebook out. I gotta get my writing notebook out. Okay, here's my writing notebook. And actually, I'm going to take this now. All right, so in my writing notebook, I am continuing with my prompt from last week, and I was writing about what my goals are. So Let's see. Let me remind myself. I got through paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. Oh, actually, I think we're on paragraph 5, and I put 4 on your lesson, so hold on. Are we on our concluding paragraph? We're on our concluding paragraph, you guys. Yay! So we're focusing on the red here, okay? We're going to focus on the red. So all we're doing is we're wrapping up our rough draft today. And last year we worked really hard on transitions, so we're going to continue that. And we're going to write in conclusion, right? And within our language arts, though we haven't gone over that yet, you're also learning about exclamation marks. So I would like for you to integrate an exclamation, a very exciting statement. And I'm going to show you how. And remember, with this first paper, if you need to copy mine, you are allowed to do that with your first paper. And if you only want to change a few things, that would be good too. So, in conclusion, my goals for this school year are to stay on schedule, learn new things, and have fun. So there's my concluding sentence right there. I have to go to a new page, which is okay because I'm skipping lines. I'm not gonna forget to indent, and I'm starting with a capital letter. But I'm also remembering that it's okay if I misspell anything. I'm in my rough draft. This purpose is just to get all my thoughts down on paper. So, in conclusion, let me see if I can turn this, keep it straight up. My goals for this school year are to stay on schedule. I forget what my other one was, so that's okay. I'm going to flip back. Learn new things. And what was my third one? And have fun. This year will be very different from the rest. I know I can do my best. I can't wait to get to work. Now this is going to be my exciting statement. I can't wait to get to work. So I'm really excited, right? Even though we've already gotten to work, you guys. But, you know, your exciting statement, or rather your statement using an exclamation mark, can be the same as mine, or it can be something, if you can be creative and use your own thought, that would be awesome. So, because this is highlighted in red, I'm going to do the same thing with my concluding paragraph. Though I chose kind of a pink color. Oh well. That's okay. It's close to red, right? And you can even push yourself to identify where did you do that exclamation mark at. And I'm just going to emphasize it with a blue, I think. Did I use an exclamation mark? Yes, I did. Okay? And that just makes your writing more interesting for your readers. Good writers use different sentence styles. So statements, questions, which you already included. I think we included 2 questions. Yeah, we started with the question. We put another question in paragraph 2. And now we also have an exclamation. So varying our sentence structures makes our writing a lot more interesting. Okay, you guys? So if you're keeping up with your writing, your notebook's already looking really, really strong. We may even have to do a second notebook this school year because we're sharing this notebook with social studies. So at any rate, if you finish that, I would like for you to get on to IXL and work on language arts when you finish that, if you still have your 30 minutes of remaining time. Okay, so now we're moving on to language arts. You have 2 YouTube videos that you're going to watch. They are reviewing exclamation marks. So that's exactly what the skill is that you're working on this week. All right. And in order to complete your skill for this week, you have to do page 30 of your reading workbook. So we're back in this book and we're on page 30. Okay, and at the top it says, an exclamation shows strong feelings. It ends in an exclamation mark. What great news. So here's examples, okay, of how you can write your exclamation in your writing notebook as well. It shows strong feelings and it ends with an exclamation mark. Now the first thing is what does an exclamation mark look like? Well, in case we don't know, here's an exclamation mark, okay? All right. So your directions say to add a word from the box to make each group of words an exclamation and then write the sentence correctly. Some hints here that you may already sort of have discovered is that they give you words with capital letters, and those would be the words that would go at the beginning of your sentence, but they also give you words with lowercase letters, and those would be the ones that don't start the sentence. So those would be 6, 7, and 8, right? Okay, so blank, there's a letter for you. Hey, there's a letter for you. Look, there's a letter for you. Quick, there's a letter for you. What? There's a letter for you. Wow, there's a letter for you. Now, a lot of those could work, right? So if I'm not comfortable filling that in, and this would be why I would definitely use a pencil with this one, so that I end up, if I have to move some of these around, and they're actually called interjections, but we don't have to know that word yet. That way I can erase, because a lot of these can fit. So I actually think I'm going to try number 3 first. And I'm going to use the word quick because I feel like that one is easy for me to place, or it's easier for me to place. So I'm going to write quick, open the envelope, and then I'm going to finish it with an exclamation mark. But I have to rewrite the whole sentence. So quick, comma, open the envelope. There you go. All right. So your job is to complete 1 through 8, and I've done number 3 for you. And don't forget to watch the YouTube videos, and if you have any remaining time, because this should take 25 minutes, then you get on IXL and do language arts in IXL. All right, in science, we had a great science introductory lesson to asking questions on Friday. I'm really grateful for the participation. On Friday, we are going to start our official unit. You guys have kind of been playing around with energy, but we're going to start our official unit this week, today. And you are going to, I think you're really going to enjoy this unit. We're working an interactive study guide. That's the book that you need to pull right now. And you're going to turn to page 22. Okay, and you're going to read about what structures help plants and animals live and grow, and your key word is adaptation, and then you're going to answer your questions. What is an adaptation? Now remember, your answers are right there, okay? So an adaptation is a blank or blank that helps a plant or animal meet its needs. An adaptation is a structure or ability that helps a plant or animal meets its needs. So there's your answers right there. I'm just going to take the word structure or ability, and I'm going to copy it on my line. I have to copy it really small because it's not a lot of space for the word structure. Okay, then you're going to continue filling in and finding your answers. So an adaptation helps plants and animals grow, blank and blank. You have to read for that. And I would guess that that answer is probably in this paragraph because your heading says adaptation. Number 2, how do adaptations help an animal get food? Draw a bird with webbed feet and a bill that is shaped like a net. Show how its feet help it get food. Number 3, how do adaptations help an animal protect itself? Draw a skunk. Show how a skunk protects itself. And it's going to give you an idea in your reading, but also you can use sort of information that you already have, prior knowledge, to help you draw these pictures, because we're really going to be diving deeper into this topic over the next few weeks. Okay? So if you run out of time, then go to IXL, finish, or work on rather science in IXL. Okay, in your social studies, you are not doing anything out of here. You are going to be reading about somebody in here. So I just want to reference that person so that you understand why, because you're going to be watching a video on a person. And I want to just kind of remind you or recalibrate you as to why you're reading about this person. So if you remember last week, we studied citizens' rights, laws, responsibilities, and the word obey. We briefly read about an excellent member of the community whose name was Biddy Mason. It says Biddy Mason in the deed or official record of the land that she bought. But Biddy Mason has a deeper story than just being, although she was an amazing member of the community, I think it's important that we know Biddy Mason's backstory, you guys. So you're going to watch a video on her life. I think you are going to be even more inspired than just by the quick reference that they gave us here, because Biddy Mason overcame a lot of challenges in order to become the good citizen that she did become. And so I want you to go on Google Classroom. Under Social Studies for today, there is a link to Biddy Mason's story, to her biography. I believe it's only about 5 minutes, but it is extremely powerful. So then you're getting your Social Studies notebook, which of course is your writing notebook turned upside down and backwards. Go to the next clean piece of paper. We're going to write Biddy Mason's name as the title. Use 2 lines to do that. Okay, and go ahead and add today's date, which is the 10th already. I can't believe it. And your assignment calls for you. I don't have it up. I'm sorry. I've got to pull it up on my computer. So I believe your assignment calls for you to write 3 complete sentences, 3 statements about Biddy Mason. And then why don't you go ahead and draw a picture of her as well after, and then a caption, okay? So 3, watch your video, write 3 statements. You can probably write a lot more, to be honest, about Biddy. Here, I'm about to pull it up right now. Instructions. Yeah, 3 statements about what you learned. And then if you would like, go ahead and draw a picture box. You can just use your lines on your paper. And make an illustration of Biddy Mason. We need to honor her more than just 1 or 2 sentences in our workbook. She's a true hero and a great example of a responsible citizen. Okay? All right, you guys. Make sure you're being nice to your brothers and sisters, as always. Make sure you get outside today. Make sure you do something around the house. Make sure you catch up on your gratitude calendars. So I will say that yesterday I made a really yummy dinner. Saturday, you guys, I was exhausted, but I'm grateful because I just relaxed. I relaxed a whole lot on Saturday, and Friday I was just glad it was. Well, you know what? We had an awesome science lesson Friday, so I'm going to write that. And I think we have some birthdays to go over. Great science lesson. I think we have a birthday today, and I think we had a birthday Sunday. All right, you guys, so I'll see you at our Zoom. Have a great day. Bye.